Good evening, viewers, and welcome once again to Man Talk with Dagi. It has been a while. It has been quite a while, so to some of you we haven't met over the year, a belated Merry Christmas, a belated Happy New Year, the Valentine ones to you. We thank God that we are back again. As always, we get to have conversations with men about matters pertaining to men in the community, men within the professions, men in the church, because we are a Christian program in a Christian station. We welcome you all. Before we get to begin, we have got a guest with us. So karibu sana, and tell us who you are. Let us get to know who this is.
Thank you so much. My name is David Ndegerege. I serve the Lord at PCA St. Andrews as a youth pastor there. And I'm glad to be here. And again, I'm a man. That makes the difference.
Okay. All right. Very well. Good. So let's start rolling. I want to believe that there is a number on your screen. So send us a text, whether on WhatsApp or whether it is by SMS. Those of you who have my number, please text me and we'll be able to raise those questions and have this conversation with David. David, who is a man?
Wow.
Simply, who is a man? And so I know most people will say, and my uncle said, a man really is a guy who's got a beard. Somebody who's got a beard, somebody who, but who is a man?
Now, the reason why that question becomes necessary is because of the context we are in. Otherwise, one would not even, dare ask.
Yes.
Sometime back, you wouldn't ask that question. But the context has changed in a very big way. In a way that the issue of the gender identity has become even an issue, so that a man has to be defined from several angles. And as you say, from the physique, one should be able to tell who a man is.
It's easy to identify.
Yeah, identify. Just
Yes.
look at them and say, this is actually a man.
Mwanaume.
Huyu ni mwanaume anatembea hivyo, huyu ni mwanaume. But now we have to define through different angles. And we have to ask ourselves, what else defines a man? Apart from how he looks, or how he talks, or maybe he has a beard, what identifies him? And to begin the conversation is to say, when you think biblically, you're talking about one who God said, let us make one in our own image, in our own likeness. So one of the identities of a man is that he has the likeness of God. There is something of God in a man. And there's some roles that God gave man. And so, beginning from God, then you realize there is a likeness of God, there are roles that God gave, and then after that, there is the way a man reacts to those roles.
Okay.
And therefore, you're able to tell the difference between a man and a woman.
All right. The Englishman says, if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and quacks like a duck,
Yes.
then it is a duck.
Yes.
There are those ones, especially the woman folk, who say, even the men, others will say, mwanaume ni pesa, mwanaume ni gari ile anaendesha, or the career you have got, or the muscles, the physique. So, and you're talking about identifying that man. What? How? Back to the Bible, what is that definition of a man?
Now, we get a place where a man is told that he is given dominion, is to take charge. So the first thing about a man is that a man needs to take charge. Now, taking charge does not require money. That's why when you define a man with what he has or what he does, or in the state of society that he has, then you miss it. Because in that way, you may end up with a woman. Because you find a woman who drives a baker, has good money, has a good job, has a bigger status, and lives in a better estate. Still, that's a woman. So we begin by looking at the issue of being in charge, dominion. Now, dominion was on several issues. One was on the issue of work. That this man was to work and take care of the land, meaning take care of the family. So one of the biggest identities of a man is that one who is able to work, till the land, and take care of the family. So the issues of taking care of the family in terms of protection and provision becomes very big in that manner. Now,
hold on. Which is good, protection and provision. So let's stick with provision.
Yes.
Today, there are men who complain about their wives.
Yeah.
because the wife sees nyumba kubwa ya ghorofa and mocks the man and just says, huyo bado ni mwanaume. Or a big V8, a big car, and there's huyo ndio mwanaume, you know. So is it still not materialistic? Is it not is there nothing materialistic that defines a man?
Now, you see, when you talk about taking care of the family, you're talking about stewarding the resources within the family. The resources may be very little or may be a lot. There may be that man with that big, big house or big story building or big Mercedes or whatever car they drive, but are they good stewards of that? So when you talk about a man, a real man, one who God would call a man, this is the man I intended to be, is one who stewards the resources within the family. And the resources doesn't have to come only from the man. It is also the resources that comes through the woman. So the man in that relationship is not the one who earns more. No. Of stewarding the resources within the family.
Okay. So I am old school. I'm an old man. And part of what we were told those days by our fathers and grandfathers is that you will meet a lady. Lady.
Yes.
You will get to start a family together. Na mtajijenga pamoja. In fact, in weddings, they are given basic things to start their home because hawana. Today, the girl child is looking for somebody who has money.
Yeah.
Is looking for mtu ako na pesa, mtu ambaye atakuwa sponyo, mtu ambaye atanili everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you say about the man does not need to be the only breadwinner or the main breadwinner, aren't we going off the grain?
Now,
based on society.
You see, where we are is because we have come a long way, and it is actually the man who began spoiling the show.
Okay.
Because the issues happened when a man decided to be irresponsible, but because he still wants to be in charge, splashed money in place of responsibility. So because I'm not able to steward my children well or raise them well, I splash money at them. So what happened is that my dad is the one who splashes money at us. That's that's how it began. The one who splashes money. Now, since the men came to a point where they are not able even to convince a lady in a better way that you should be my wife, then they said, let me splash money. That will be enough evidence.
It will show you that I
am a man. So the spoiling began with men. And so at one point then, after doing all that, ladies began expecting that. Not all of them given, but they began to expect that. And so the man now has the law to reclaim who a man is. Because even if they're splashing on the money, sometimes you may think the sponsor is in charge. They are not. They are not in charge. Actually, this lady who is being sponsored is actually the man in that relationship. Because he's the one who says when you meet. He's the one who says where you meet. He's the one who demands how much to give. In fact, the lady. This guy is just at the other end of the stick. So you think you are in charge because you are splashing money.
So therefore, do we have men in this society?
We need to reclaim the role of men. We do have men, but we need to reclaim the role of men. So what I'm saying is that let's begin from stewardship of resources, stewardship of family, stewardship of responsibilities. Let's begin from there. So that when a young man is growing up, what they know is I need to identify what is within my jurisdiction and steward it well. So when I do that, then I am a man.
David, you're a youth minister at St. Andrews. And I forget your other name is a bit hard.
Gengerege.
That one. So when you sit with the male youth, one of the challenges they have got are that these girls, I like this girl, but I am not up to her standards. I can't keep up with her, isn't it? What does he do to be able to go beyond that, to be able to go beyond that material barrier?
Now, as I'm saying is this, because what what you don't have in terms of money, you make up with you yourself being knowledgeable and being a good steward of that which you have. You see, women are attracted by a man in charge. Mm-hmm. The man may be in charge of a motorbike,
Yes.
just a motorbike, but the guy is in charge. The guy may be in charge of a quarry, but they will be attracted by that. You see, if you want to go the route of money, it will not work with the young men. It will not work because you don't have the money.
Yes.
The people with the money are the older people. They are the ones splashing the money over the girls and the girls who do over them and all that. So as a young man, I would say, begin by first identifying your purpose in life. Saying, God has called me to be this in life and I'm going to pursue it. So if you are a student in university, first ace your course, kabisa. Make sure you are doing well in your unit. You are doing well in your course. You are on top of things. Secondly, make sure the resources you have, maybe you don't even have money to buy very good clothes, but make sure the ones you buy, you take care of them.
So you may look loaded.
Yeah, you look like you know where you are going.
Like you have money.
Like you have it. Like you have money actually, even when you don't.
Okay.
And then, in terms of knowledge, this is the place you need to know. Because if the lady knows more than you begin to lose power.
You're sunk.
The lady has money and then knows more than you. So if the lady has, for example, let me give an example. Somebody is dating a lady who got a very good job,
yes,
and this lady wants to buy a car. At that point, this guy is struggling to pay fare, matatu fare, because he's in internship. At that point, how do you become a man? Know everything about cars. Let her feel that I will not spend a coin until this man of mine approves this car. At that point, when you go to the dealership, she will not talk. You will talk. You are the one buying the car. You will talk and talk and talk and talk until the last moment when you say, now, you can now transfer the money. I'm okay. She will work as your accountant at that point.
Then but it will still be my car. This is mine. It is not our. In fact, so let me not get there. I want to ask this. And again, because you deal with the youth and they're both genders and all of that. You have a wife, you have a mother, you've got sisters, you've got the community. What do women expect of a man? What is the woman's notion of that is a man?
The man the woman is looking for is the man in charge. If there is something I can repeat 10 times, is the man in charge. That this guy is not looking over his shoulders and wondering, what do I do? So if the lady asks and says, well, I understand you are going through a financial crunch. I would like to take you out for lunch. Where do you think we should go? If the man says, I have no clue, that's
red flag.
A red flag. Because the guy should be able to say, all right, within this budget, I think that's where we should go. He should even add and say, but I think, because we also need to have a time for ourselves, this would be the best place to go. And in fact, I can go ahead of you so that when you come, you'll find I have booked everything, I'll be there. So when can we meet? You see, now when the lady feels, I gave an idea and this guy took over the idea,
yes,
and now he's all over the place, being in charge, they would like that. Even when it comes to conversations, do not let the conversations go to a place where it's now about another man. So even if, like, for example, we are talking about sponsors and this lady is talking about the way other ladies are having sponsors, do not let the conversation go to other men. You are the one seated here. So make sure the conversation is driven by you. So be in charge of the resources, be in charge of the conversation, be in charge of the relationship, be in charge. And make sure that if you are pursuing someone, before they finally look like they are the one asking you out, you are the one asking them out. Because if they ask you out, at that point they are taking the role of a man and reclaiming it to be very difficult.
So, okay. So let's go to the Kawaida folks. In the church, universally, the majority are women. Wazes are sleeping, are nursing a hangover, mzee hata hajui alifikaje nyumbani wengine, all of those ones. Others have gone into what they would call traditional church. Where is that problem? Is it that, and let me first dwell with the traditional church, where they're saying, I am going back to my roots. I am becoming a man. This is what men should be doing.
Yeah.
So is that part of being a man? Does the Christian bit and the traditional get to jail somewhere and say it is allowed to some point?
Now, the waters were marked not long ago, but the issues came with the issue of leadership. It was not a very big issue initially. It was a leadership issue. One is, let me say something very controversial. One is that church is feminine. Let's not, lie about it.
Yes.
We are the bride of Christ.
Yes.
So it's feminine in many ways.
Yes.
It's feminine in its worship. It's feminine in its outlook. In several ways, it's feminine. Even the choir attire is not male.
It's trousers, you wear gowns.
Gowns
Yes.
is feminine. Even the minister's gown. So the church has feminine aspects, but men were still in charge even some time back. But then there came an issue of becoming a full member. That's where issues became. And that's where the main issues went. So that when I am not married officially...
You're about to lose your job, man. but it is when you go and
That's where the visa.
Yeah, yes.
So when my wife becomes a full member, becomes a leader, and I'm not a member. So that's where the first disagreement came.
You cannot take Holy Communion because you haven't wed her.
Yeah, so you have. And the intention was pure. That really, let's secure these women. Let's make sure they are married properly. Let's make sure the children are secure, because men die and they leave their wives with a lot of trouble. And he had money, he could take care of the children. So it was a legitimate thing. And so what has happened, of course, over time with the response is that PCMF has come up very well. It's a late comer because Guild came earlier.
Yes.
It's a late comer, but it is coming up very well to bridge some of those gaps. Now, is the response going back traditional? No. Because whereas in the church it looks like leaders or the leadership positions are the ones that make people leaders, that's not true. I know so many members of the church who have no position in church, but they are leading in several areas. Mentorship of the boys is being done by people who don't have a seat in church. Rite of passage is being done by men who don't have a seat in church. When it comes to building the church, physical building, men are building it without any position in church. When it comes to landscaping, and I'm telling you, I've identified like almost 20 areas where you don't need to have any leadership role for you to be there. So men are still able to serve the Lord in that way. And then the men who have been given leadership roles also need to affirm their fellow men. Not to make them look like they are less, but to affirm their fellow men. Now, something else I wanted to say, because the issue of going back tradition has also another connotation, because women are becoming powerful in many other areas. So they're not just responding in church. They're responding in because either in their job,
the mainstream,
everything
across the board.
Even the big cars, the big cars are being driven by women.
Yes, we are left with the pickups.
Yes, and even the big residences, the landlord is a lady. I mean, I don't know how many people would say the landlord is a man. Most of them, even when the man is present, the woman is still the one in charge of the houses. So they are responding that way. And so when they go back...
Even when the guest comes to your house and your wife is not there, you stand and say, hakuna watu.
Watu wako leo. Or you say, wacha niite watu. Or you say,
wacha niite watu.
Pole sana, wewe keti, wacha niite watu. Because mimi si mtu. So the man has to take up that. So the traditional part. But it is going to be very short-lived. Because what will happen is this. You will have men who feel they must become the Kikuyu man. And they are now women to fit in the women that were Kikuyu women. Because that era is gone.
Totally.
The era when you coughed and your wife came running is no longer there. And even if you marry her young and poor so that you can suppress her, she is atachanuka too. Atachanuka, you can no longer do that. So the man needs to take authority within the church. Take authority, even if I have a boss who is a woman. There's a job I'm in charge of. I do it in such a good way that I'm still the man.
She will find me the authority in that sector.
Right there. And I can tell you, because there is no competition between the genders, if the man becomes a man and the woman is a woman, they will complement. But if you are trying to compete or complain or say she went up there because of she's a woman and all that, what happens is that even the little you have will be taken away. So take what you have, be in charge with what you have. I would talk to the men who especially are feeling like women are taking over the places. the place you are in has not been taken over. Work on that. Make sure you are in charge of that. And even when the ladies come to you for advice, give it, and give it so well that the next time they come, that even when they go up the ladder, they say, and I know there is a man in this position who I would like to consult. They will say, I don't want him even to come to my office. I'll go to his office because I want to talk to him, because I remember how important he was in that role.
Men are known for monosyllables, while women are known for 4,000 words within the hour.
Yeah.
So that will also affect the man, because he's yes, no, yes, no. And perhaps, is there something even within homes that makes the man not man, because he's not able to express himself much, he's not able to say too much of what's going on, while the woman is the one who's able to, express herself and give the situations. Are we encouraging men to talk more? And probably encouraging women to listen more?
I wouldn't encourage men to talk more. I would just encourage them to talk strategically. Know when to say something and when not to say anything. Because when you want to argue with somebody who is speaking 4 times the words you are speaking, you can't win the argument with words. That's why I would hope the man can become a man of action. And I tell you, the voice of a man in a home is different. A woman may tell a child 1,000 words and the child is still watching. Then the father says, you, stand, go where your mother is telling you to go. And they will go. They don't even know why they are going. They say, hey, Daddy amesema. So if the man understands that, he will not argue. Because if you cannot go on the same platform of words with someone who has so many words and think you are going to win. Speak strategically.
They have the gift of the gab.
Yes, just speak strategically when it's supposed to be. The mother is saying, you keep quiet, there's been, don't you see people are watching TV, you want to see news? Then you say, hey. And you see people keep quiet, and then you watch TV. You don't need to say much. Then you watch the film. You can even just look. I remember how my dad would just look at us. Just the look. He would just stand like this. You notice I'm seeing you. And then he moves on and you know it's done.
And if you continue, it will be
it will be a bad one. So as a man, you are still in charge even if you don't say much. Expression is very important. But the problem that we have right today is that we don't express ourselves like before. We speak a lot. We don't even strategically speak. I don't know how to say it, because sometimes I see it with politicians. Somebody is supposed to say something very strategic, just 1 or 2 things, but they talk too much. So at the end of it, you don't know what they are saying.
Loudly.
You don't even know what they are saying. So if they were just to say one thing, it's done. And you would not need to say it again. I remember Kibaki, a man of very few words. But when he said something, it stuck. And he did. What he said, he did. When he said tutaangalia, aliangalia. When he said wachana na hiyo, iliachana nayo. He didn't give a lot of speeches and 2-hour speeches. But when he said na hiyo ya masomo itakuwa bure.
And it became.
It became. So as a man, speak strategically and then speak when you are sure. You see everybody who say many things in the evening and then tomorrow morning say, by the way, I was wrong. That one was very
I was not
wrong.
serious.
Yeah, but a man, I would advise sometimes also sleep over the issue.
Earlier today, I was at some forum where the Honorable MP Kimani Ichung'wah was mentioned. And, whoever mentioned and they echoed it was that, the good thing is that he doesn't lie and he actions things fast. So, I hope he gets to live to his word. So we are talking about people who need to be firm. And when I don't know if I'll find it here, before I find it, is a total man allowed to express emotions? Should he express emotions? Traditionally, we know that a man should not cry, should not show, apart from showing anger, should not show any other emotions. That you're told you don't even laugh like a woman.
Yeah.
You're told just laugh, and that's it. So should a man express emotions? Should he express love? How is he supposed to show affection or care?
Now, I'll keep on saying strategy. Be very strategic. You don't just cry. You know, no problem with a man crying, but it's very wrong if a man cried because he saw a beautiful butterfly. I mean, that would be so bad. You know, like, a lady is allowed to cry if they saw a beautiful wedding happening.
When the movie has a sad ending.
Yeah, I mean, he's allowed to cry. But a man should cry when it's absolutely necessary. And when your cry will not leave everybody desperate.
Yes.
Because, you know, you are here with your wife and children, and you're the first one to cry. You know, like, then they don't know what to do. What do we do with daddy now he's crying? So I would say this. I would say you need to have an outlet. Maybe you need to have men's circles where we can cry and lean on each other's shoulders and talk and vent out, so that when you go before people, we are able to be strong enough. So I would say strategically choose when to express your emotions and express them with a lot of self-control, so that you don't weep loudly and people do not know what to do with you after that. And the problem with these days is videos. Because you will weep and then the video will go rounds. The man who was weeping, you know, in this wedding. So I remember when I saw one man crying in a wedding, and I wondered, now, why is he crying? Okay, the lady may say they are leaving the parents, but you...
So why was he crying?
So
actually?
the man was crying. I think he has watched a lot of movies, and he thinks that emotion is supposed to be expressed that way. I don't think
Is it his
legitimate.
daughter who was getting married?
No, him. He's getting married. The girlfriend is crying, or the wife-to-be is crying, and he's crying also.
Instead of saying, be strong, I'm here.
Yeah.
I got you.
I mean, you are coming to my home. I'm going nowhere. Your parents are going nowhere. We will sort this out. The guy is crying. So they are both crying, and now everyone is looking at them.
What a sad
And wondering, now, this is a really bad thing. So emotions, just choose when to. And be self-controlled even when you show them. Because one needs to stand strong, but also look for an outlet. I think we need to have more of men talk, men corner, round circles where men can cry, talk, so that when they go out to the world, they are strong enough.
And again, now there, a question which I probably packed for later. What is it that, and the PCMF is doing a wonderful job. You mentioned about the PCMF. What is it that men can do within congregations, within the community, to just round men up and firm them up to be? The Bible says that a man, that defines a man as steadfast and as immovable. What can the man do to make men of men?
Now, as I said, we need to create spaces where men can express themselves. I have seen churches that have like a small space, a round circle, some call it ngira, just like a gazebo,
Yes.
where men gather after church and take tea. They sit and take tea, and they talk their own issues. And sometimes you will see the second service going on for long, and the men are still there, because there is an issue they are discussing.
And this issue might be PCMF elections. There are cartels who want...
Once in a while that will come up, but if it's happening every Sunday, you will run out of issues that are official to talk about. Men will talk about politics, they will talk about football, they will talk about their, they will begin to open up. Because men take so long to open up, you must give them enough space and time. And when they open up, there has to be deliberateness from the PCMF to have people who can follow up. Because somebody will say, for example, hey, my house has become lonely. These people are going they are going to these outings every weekend. When he says like that, you may not follow up that question immediately, but let alone go on and ask. Ask, hey, I heard watu hawako wanaendaenda sana. So what can we do? Can we, form a group where we can also be meeting?
Ourselves also a welfare of sorts.
These Saturdays that you are free, could I also tell you there are some youth that need mentorship? Like, there's something I've been proposing to our PCMF, that I give them youth that they can drive with to their shambas. So I'm telling men, because men sometimes may not be able to drive with their families there,
Yes.
but the men will always go to look for their, lazima waende wakaangalie shamba yake. So I'm telling men, don't go alone. Call me and I'll give you 3-4 youth.
Go you'll have a conversation
Go
with
talk
them.
with them, wanunulie nyama mahali, muongee. then you come back with them. In that way, this man is able to pour himself out to other men within that context. So I would say create spaces. So PCMF creates space within the church, outside church, but also in areas especially of mourning, we need to do much better. That's where we are failing.
We attend services. We attend every Tuesday 4 p.m. Maombolezi as the PCMF. And we have tea and leave.
That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. Because that is just a service. And the man will say nothing. In fact, the man will pass on the duty of talking to everyone as except himself. He will even say, let this one talk, let this one talk. So this person is believed. Maybe he has lost a wife. And you have done the funeral. Guild will not go to visit this man. Because it is weird. You know, they will want to, but it's a bit weird.
Yes, it's not their role.
Yeah, you know, they are not able to fit well. But men will not also visit. So that's the issue. So we need to make sure that we create those spaces where we go and grieve with those who are grieving. And we grieve with them properly. So we go with them and we listen to them.
We want to, there's the intention that I have to get to pull the PCMF a lot of involvement into Mantalk because it's a forum for the PCMF can take advantage of. But I feel like we in the church embrace men when they bring themselves to the church. That we do not go out there and look for them out there. We do not want to associate ourselves with the guy the drunks, the guys who are taking changa, the guys who are taking bangi. In fact, we do not usually make efforts to bring in the YPCMF. So you are a youth minister. How do we go about getting to endear the youth to come in and involve them? Not only into the PCMF, but into the church, into activities.
All right. One thing I will say about men is that men love food. And for me, that's a very big thing. And they love meat, especially meat. So PCMF, if you want young men, make sure you have enough meat. Make sure you have nyama choma. Nyama choma and soda, they will come. But also make sure that you have an agenda for them. Because you will identify whether you have agenda or not.
Yes.
So when you come in, for example, you are in a company and you have 2 internships.
Yes.
Don't just come and dish them out. Say, I would like to meet some young men, who have just cleared campus. Do you have some of them? I would like to have 10 of them and have lunch with them. Go have lunch with them, listen to them. You may actually identify the interns you need from there. So
not just everybody.
Yeah, not just everybody. Pick, choose a niche. By the way, when you call everybody, it's very difficult to do anything meaningful. I always say...
Sorry to cut you short. There's a forum I read somewhere where they said that they wanted the riders.
Yeah.
And any other youth. And for me, I'm just wondering if they will all gel together. So I like that you say segment them and get a certain segment because they have alike needs. Okay.
And even the way you treat them is different. Because when you have the riders, why you don't keep them for long? Because they make their money for the day.
They're busy.
Yeah, they're busy. Secondly, is that you give them food because food is a big issue that they all go through. Then the other issue is the issue of security. These are people who go through issues. So if you have somebody from the security, a policeman or someone, speaking to them about safety rules and all that, they will be happy to hear.
Yes.
So when you bring your spiritual talk, it's coming in and they are accepting it because you have given them food, a space to talk, a policeman to train them, and someone even maybe from NTSA to tell them how to get a license.
Yes.
And you're telling them, if you need a license, go there. If you have ID, go there. There is somebody already with a computer, they are online, they can help you apply now. And you say the first 5 men who want that license, PCMF is paying for you. It's done. So if you do that, you have picked those ones. You go to Mujengo and they say, you guys, I know reflectors are an issue for you. Helmets are an issue for you. Some of you Apollons is why you don't have a job today. Because the site they said come with your Apollon. So please do come. The first 10 people will do this. But then we have also this man who sells these and is going to give them without making a profit. So they are going to be almost half price of what you buy. So when the guys Mujengo come and somebody goes back with a uniform, they go back with a helmet, they go back with a defector, already they will say those men thought about me. So you have
identify.
You identify with him. So you have picked the Nduthi guy, you have helped him. You have picked the university guy who needs an internship. You have picked a Mujengo guy who needs that. So you have picked different men and you have met their needs in that way. They begin to say, these men care about me.
Are men afraid of other men being better than them? Would there be a challenge? Because, you know, it is encroaching into my territory. I've been there for so long. Why am I getting to nurture somebody who might be better than me and take over what I've been getting?
It goes back to the issue of identity. Because if you are really good at what you do, and you know that this one I am in charge, then you cannot have an inferiority complex on anyone. At that point, you don't have it. And by the way, men are normally very safe around men. Where they feel a bit inferior is when a woman begins to take charge. That's where our weakness comes up. So among men, I've seen they do the guys, for example, they choose a chairman, they empower him. He's even driving, and they still say he's our guy. This is our Nduthi guy.
Yes.
This is our Nduthi guy, and we are with him. I've seen that challenge not as big, but it has to do with affirmation. If the man is fully affirmed, then he can raise others.
So I have a question, which possibly you will tell the women at home. How does a man want to be treated? How can a woman support a man? In what simple ways is there, that in fact, those are two different questions. First of all, how does a man want to be treated?
He himself. Well, a man, desires respect, great respect. And respect sometimes just means, allow me to finish what I'm saying. Sometimes it's just simple. Let me finish. Like I may be saying something foolish, but don't bash it before I finish. So that kind of respect a man would, desires.
Let me finish.
Let me finish what I'm saying. I'm saying it slowly, not probably even in your own way, but I'm saying it. So I began saying it, so let me say it. Secondly, sometimes a man, would love to hear that you understood what he said. Before you say what you are saying, you say, I have understood what you have said.
So even as I disagree,
yes,
I have understood.
Understood what you said. So I'm disagreeing after understanding what you said. And sometimes silence for a man is a very big thing. Sometimes men love silence. They just love when he says, I'm not able to talk about it now. Don't pry. Don't
force.
Don't force. You say, all right, I think we'll bring it up another time, or you just eat your food. Because a number of times you find maybe the woman is waiting for the guy. So the guy arrives and the food is here, it's nice food and everything, and then the talk begins. And the guy is wondering, when will I finish this food? Maybe he doesn't even eat it. He says, hey, wacha nikalale. Sometimes it just requires somebody to sit there. He says, just finish your food. When he's still eating, he'll be asking, how are you doing? Don't raise anything. Just say, it is okay with me and all that. And
how was your day?
How was your day? Continue eating. You're liking the food? All right. At that point, he's
At what point does, but hatuna pesa ya kesho, gas imeisha, watoto sijui nini, chama yangu zijalipa. When does this, when does this money demand now come in? If at all, he'll be led to be a bit peaceful.
Towards the end. And don't make it a story. Make it 3 things. Say, I think, vile nimeona you are tired. You are tired. So, I think huku sisi hatuna mambo mengi. We just have kadeni 2,000 na kuna pesa 2,000 mtoto ameitishwa na ile ingine tuliongea jana, unakumbuka. Ndio hii. Just that, I think we don't have much.
Mzee says Mungu atasaidia hiyo. Unashindaga hivi.
You see that saying it simply. Because maybe he has thought about it the whole day and he has no solution. So he does not want to hear it again because he has already beaten himself up that he doesn't have a solution. So he does not want to be beaten up. So what he wants is just state the facts and don't even emphasize. Don't say, na sasa unaona hiyo 2,000 deni, imekuwa ni deni ya mwezi mzima.
Nilikwambia hata juzi siku nyingine.
Ni kama usikiangi nikiongea. When you say that, you spoil. just say na hiyo kadeni tu 2,000 na I think na hata tukianza na hiyo kadeni I think hii ingine ni vitu ya kujileta. And I can tell you when a man hears that, tasema sina 2, wacha nitoe moja. Simpatie kwanza ndio anyamaze. Sema sawa. I think sasa you can actually go to sleep. Ama what do you want? What do you like now? Because the guy has given what he had. It's easy. Don't make the kelele the conversation.
Many times, and I hear you, and we are speaking about how does the woman support the man. Mwanaume ni jasho. And sometimes the man gets to bear himself and gives everything. So he ends up neglected in terms of the kashat. Ni kama kuna kajoli kalikuwa kanatumia huko nyuma, socks ziko na shimo, zimeanza kuteremka kama legomas. Our women don't see that. Tell them.
Now, there are two things. There are two things.
I mean, basic small things, please. Ama inakuaga.
You know, why we talk about identity of a man is because a time comes when you need to pick up yourself as a man. But that's a story for another day. Let's talk about women. Please, the man does not think about how he looks. What he feels is what starts first. So if a guy feels great and he looks terrible, he will still be okay.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Confidence, 110%.
He looks terrible, but he feels okay. So work on those two things. Work on how he feels, affirm him, but also make him look. I mean, take care of him. I mean, just take care of him. Because
but taking care, our woman knows, taking care is the ugali 3 kg.
Even what he wears. Before a man drives to a place to buy socks, like, nimeamuka leo naenda kununua socks.
Kuna shidi umesumbuka.
It's so difficult. It's even something that if you try to remember when you last drove to buy some vest, you said, Leo, part of my to-do list, I'll go to the bank, then I'll go to the shop and I'll buy vest. It doesn't happen. So as a woman, if you have a husband, dress him up. Take care of him. He's out there doing all he can.
He's your firstborn.
Hey, muangalie asikae vibaya hivyo and listen to him, because sometimes also you buy him things he doesn't want to wear. You know, you are there buying him a pink suit. You know, so if the guy is having a pink suit, he's having a yellow, you know, some yellow socks. So the guy is wondering, why would you do this to me? So listen to him. What does he like?
And you'll say, I buy you wewe ununuagi. No, I buy you but you'll never wear.
You don't wear.
So kumbe
ni wewe unampatia vitu wapendi. So if the guy, for example, loves jeans, no matter how many suits you buy, he'll wear once in a while. There's a guy who loves sneakers. So that is what he wears. So wewe unasema pana, but I like a man who will wear this kind of thing. Hiyo ilikupita. Now the man you have is this one. Don't have hangovers of the man you should have married. You married the guy with khaki and he loves safari boots.
I have a question, and I wish we had a lady here to ask, because one of the things that trouble men a lot are the personal things, like socks.
Yeah.
When the shoes start smelling, when the socks zimeanza kuteremka and don't look at mine, and all of that. And I wonder, I don't know who should wash socks, whether the man should wash for himself or not. But I want to think that if the woman will see, she will see the need. Lakini, hata sisi wanaume, we get ourselves into trouble and we get neglected. Because there are men who hear a knock at this time, at night, and they'll tell the wife, ni nani huyo? Basically, go check the door.
Yeah.
Is that a man? There is the man who is going to bring one bag of maize, you know, and ni hiyo nimelete mahindi sasa shughulikieni. So is there a point where the man is also failing in our role, not taking responsibilities a bit more?
That, and I think PCMF has picked up very well in that area, where we are talking about men and health, which is a big issue, because men's health, if you see a man in hospital, You see a man queuing in hospital, he has brought himself. Take care of that. That guy is dying.
He's going.
That one, he's going to die very soon. So, man and health, man and grooming. The issue of grooming. We also take care of ourselves. That training is happening. So there's both sides. The man needs to look at that, but also the woman needs to look at that. So that you take care of this man. Dress him up. Somebody made a joke and said, which is very true, that men marry women hoping they will never change. They will remain like a girl they loved.
Absolutely.
They will remain like a girl. And then the woman is marrying a man hoping he will change.
To change him.
To change him.
Then she also changes as well.
It's opposite. You can't change him, and you change. So the man hopes you not change, then you change totally. The lady hopes you change, and the man does not change. He thought it's a joke that this guy is going to repeat a trouser thrice. So you take it and he's asking, hii trouser yangu ya jana iko wapi? Iko wapi?
Lakini si chafu?
Apai, later. And it's a big issue. He say, but I thought when I begin to wash, he's going to change. He say, no. I wear a trouser 3 times before he's washed.
It will get torn, it will fade, it will...
Wewe wacha kufanya hivyo. There's even a lady I remember was telling me, the guy cleans his jeans. He loves his jeans, he cleans it himself. But he cleans it so rarely that it becomes worrying. Afadhali aipiga marashi, lakini asi clean.
Can I tell you, I was like that. I would do jeans, you have 6-7 pairs of jeans, they'll be washed after 8 months. That ukinyeshewa povu inatoka. And until I got to get married and the whole story changed.
At least that changed.
With a lot of tug of war. But I get to understand that. What can a man do to show the woman he cares about her, he loves her? Apart from bringing the money, what is this he can do to also get to make that relationship warmer?
Now that's where
difficult question, but
that's where the issue is. Men need to talk more. That's the hard part. It's the hardest. The greatest love for a woman is talking to her, and it's hard for a man. A man would be okay with silence. Actually, if he knows hakuna vita, in the silence
there's nothing to explain.
Yeah, so he's okay with silence. So men needs to talk to women more. You need to notice her. You need to come in and, the way you notice your car. You look at your car like this and you can tell, men take care of their cars. They know their car.
Yes.
They can tell, hapa, pumzi ijatoshana. And
they will
feel it. They will look at the car and say, hey, nani aguza gari hapa? Even hata ikilia alarm, you are on studio, ilia alarm hivi, you know it's your car.
You will know it is that. Yes.
Car. We need to take care of women in that way. Talk to your wife. Just
compliment them.
Yeah, just look at her hair and talk to her. And if you think the hair should be done something, just say, I've sent you something retro. It may not be very enough, but send you something retro for your hair. And the day you send that money for the hair, make sure you see it. If you think you'll forget, you better say nitumie kwa WhatsApp. Ukimaliziwa, nitumie kwa WhatsApp.
Nini?
At least the photo of how the hair looks
Boss, like. You will be in so much trouble. So you send the money for the hair and metumia kakitu kanywele, then she brings unga home that evening. You will say again, will you repeat nywele tomorrow?
I will still say again. I will say, all right, I appreciate that, and that was very important. And, I will still. And you see, when you're talking to her, you can tell what is her first need. And you can tell why she's not responding to what you are saying. So when you're talking to her a lot, you'll be able to realize this is what she likes.
The priorities you'll be.
Yeah. Because there are those who love gifts, and it's not a lot of money that you need to bring. And there are those who love that when you come, the first thing you do is to hug her. Where is she? Ako happy. Where is she? And the thing about men, funny thing about men, they know how to take care of other things except women. A man who loves his dog will come in and the first thing he asks is, where is my dog?
And will get it and say...
Yeah, make sure ikuje kwanza, ndio niingie kwa nyumba. Siwezi ingia kwa nyumba kama yombo haijakuja. They do that.
Ama ng'ombe kwa shamba
kama ng'ombe
unamsikia kwa kama ng'ombe. Ngunu yuko sawa.
Unamsikia kwa ng'ombe. Unasikia kwa ng'ombe kwanza kabla aingie kwa nyumba. Atajiuliza bibi kama ako sawa. Anaangalia kama ng'ombe iko sawa. Anaenda anamulika nasari ya sukuma. Anamulika kuangalia hizi nasari they know how to take care of everything else. If you did what you did with your car, with your shamba, with your cow, with your bank account,
Lakini sasa naingia kwa nyumba swali ya kwanza, mahindi ilitolewa kwa chapa.
Mbona
So hata jambo hakuna, hata nini.
Hii carpet mbona, you know, like the first thing you know is a problem. If the first thing you notice was your wife, then you say, hey, najua ako kazi lakini mwambie kwanza anisalimie. You know the way the children.
Ama uende umukute tu huko.
You say, hey, ati yako wapi? You just walk. The first person you are going to hug is your wife, then you come back and sit. Then even the children will know, where this one loves our mother. And they will try to love the mother more so that they compete with you.
Which is good for her.
Which is good for her because she becomes the darling of everyone. So if men take care of their wives, the way they take care of their things, because I can tell you men do take care of their things, then the relationships will be much, much better in a very big way. Yeah.
Interesting. I think, you know, at the beginning I was wondering, this man, how do we expand him? How do we get to stretch him? It looks like there's a lot that we need to learn from each other. I think there's something about the women and how they need to also see the effort of the man and start appreciating that man. And not every compliment is asked with a
with a twist.
With a twist on that side. But how do we encourage men to also take that leadership position at home of prayer? Of getting to, you know what, and it's something that I've started speaking out about. I don't know where it was brought up that the woman is the one who prays for food. If the man is the provider, if he's the leader, even the prayer warrior, there's somewhere where we went to and they took almost 3-4 minutes trying to find out which woman will pray for food.
And the men are there.
Is it a big thing that the woman must pray for food? Is it a man's job to pray for what you brought in? I mean, it's your kill, isn't it? So,
I mean, some of these stereotypes begin with some connotations. And the connotations of the issue of the kitchen become a very big thing. But you see, the kitchen, the stew kitchen belongs to the woman. But the grill, the meat grill, belongs to the man.
It is still a kitchen.
Yeah, and it's still a kitchen. They are both kitchens. So I would say a man should be able to pray for the food. What I would say for me practically I try to do is to pray for the shopping. That at least I do. That when we bring shopping, you know, we pray for it.
Yes.
We'll give thanks. Say, God, you have given this to be used for your glory in this house. So at least whether it's now cooked later and prayed for whoever
is another
story. So it's very clear that we are going to pray for it because, and the man may pray a few words, but they are meaningful. I have listened to some men pray sentences, 3-4 sentences, and what they are saying, you can tell is so deep. Because you know, one of the men was praying about, we were going to view the body and this man decides he's the one to pray. And he's just telling God, because you know it is difficult, just help us. Because what you're about to do is just difficult. And only you can help. That was his only prayer. He didn't pray anything else.
And it sank and it was enough.
Everyone felt the weight.
Wow. Men, we are real men. We are loved by our spouses, by our children, by our siblings. But we need to stand up and prove and show our manhood, which is about being careful, which is about being caring for them, which is about being of virtue, protecting them, serving them, supporting them, and just standing in that role that really we must be steadfast and immovable. This has been Man Talk with Dagi and David this evening. We have come to the end of our show. Our hour has gone out quite fast. We will be back on Thursday. I'm not too sure what topic it will be, but it will be something, again, exciting. We're looking forward to see you then. Share this message out. Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. See you then. Until then, good night and God bless you.